The fact of the matter is, Ubisoft across the majority of their development teams are out of touch and have no idea how to make amazing games anymore. And that just seems to be the truth right now. Perhaps some of their studios can still churn out a good project, but the majority of them are so out of touch, I don't know what to believe anymore. X-Defiant, Frontline, leaks about Project X, Skull and Bones. It seems everything Ubisoft tries to do is either years too late or just flat out not what is expected from such a prestigious AAA development company. Is management directing these developers to release products a certain way to the point where their creative ingenuity is stifled? Or do they just not have that creative ingenuity anymore and they're just creating the most mundane products that customers do not want because, hey, we think it's good? Perhaps these teams aren't as good as we assume them to be. Could they not get sword combat to work in this game? Were there technical issues? I don't know. In the wake of the Skull and Bones gameplay premiere, it's a rush to damage control already. The live stream had the live chat and comments turned off. Reddit immediately began criticizing what they had seen, and the majority of the people are right. The game looks boring and does nothing new or interesting. This is a pirate game called Skull and Bones. You would think Ubisoft would make an amazing RPG fantasy pirate game. They've been pushing RPG mechanics in so many games, this would be one where it would actually work. A Sinbad the Sailor, Pirates of the Caribbean type of game from Ubisoft would absolutely sell. But no, Ubisoft had to go and be Ubisoft and take Assassin's Creed Black Flag and strip it down and make it even worse. No sword combat, no finding buried treasure on remote islands, no exploration outside of being on the open seas, stuck in a few positions on your ship. You want to attack the interior of an outpost? Send in your AI, end the cutscene. Want to take over the ship you're attacking? Send in the AI and cue the cutscene. You can't even walk around on your ship as the captain. You're not giving orders to your crew. You're basically behind the steering of the ship the entire time. You'll teleport to the front of the ship to a cannon, and you'll teleport to the top of the mast, and that's it. That's the entire game. Those 3 points of view, and just shoot a bunch of cannons at some buildings or on the shore or at other ships. The only time you actually see the third-person perspective is when you're off the ship in the marketplace, where you're either selling items to get currency or you can buy items for your ship. Who cares at that point about how you look and customization? And good old Ubisoft, they had to have gathering resources, which makes no sense from how the game works because you're collecting these resources from the ship. You're carving trees on your ship to get its resources. I mean, what the hell was Ubisoft thinking with this one? They could have literally copy and pasted Black Flag and just removed the assassin aspect from it, created a more in-depth pirate aspect from it, made it more fantasy-like with RPG mechanics, created interesting enemies from pirates to government navies to undead skeletons and Loch Ness monsters. I mean, have us visit remote islands, fight enemies, capture and create outposts, find treasures, and become a badass pirate. There's so many opportunities here to make this an amazing pirate game. And what they end up coming away with is the most generic, boring thing I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot, being that Ubisoft has been dropping those types of games non-stop. And my audience and many like us understand perfectly well. It was the same with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Ubisoft refuses to embrace what would make a specific game amazing. Ghost Recon didn't need blossoming trees and tiered loot and robots, but that's what they did and it failed. We're having the same issue here with Skull and Bones. A pirate game has been relegated to a now generic shipbuilding game with minimal pirate activity and maximal disappointment. I have no idea how this game is going to do anything but make everyone sad at the realization that yet again, Ubisoft had a good idea for a game and squandered it.